Podcast time, everybody.
Woohoo! It's Friday. We had an amazing time last night. If you're a podcast listener, you might not have caught, but we did a special ugly Christmas sweater party, our second year doing that. We hosted on our Facebook page. So take some time this weekend, listen to the podcast, and then go back and watch that at RadioU Riot on Facebook or RadioU Riot on YouTube to see our Christmas show.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun.
It was great.
It is referenced in the show today, though, not as much as you would think.
Really?
I thought we would spend a ton of time today talking about last night, and instead we've just been like, clean up from last night and get ready to leave.
We even vacuumed. We put the table and the lights away, so it's all back to normal in here.
Because if you want to know another little secret truth is when Nikki and I work at night, usually the next day when the show's over, we're out.
We're done.
That's the end of that. And that's what's happening today. So, hey, today in the podcast, we talk about stuff that's new on Netflix this weekend. We talk, this is probably dumb, but I have to talk about customer service a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
See, I feel dumb about how dumb they made me feel.
No, we're going to love hearing about it.
We talk binged shows and looking for a word other than binge. Contract killers for Christmas. Porch piracy again. I know, but it's a thing. Nike power shoes. Let's see. Predator Christmas. And
someone texted us after we talked about Predator Christmas. Was like, thank you so much. I just watched it and they loved it.
So you may not like it.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but that person is like us.
And probably the most important thing that happens today is Hudson stops by with some cough syrup that we drink together.
Ooh, it was potent stuff.
It's a little weird, but it totally happened.
And it worked for it's not a Riot food fight, but it's a Riot medicine fight.
Yeah, it's there. So you guys enjoy that. And don't forget, we talked about the Christmas show we did last night. You can see that on YouTube and Facebook. And then on Monday,
we have another Christmas show.
It's going to be great, dude. Tons of interviews, and you can either hear it live or it'll be here on the podcast. And then next week, Worst of the Riot 2018 starts up because Nikki and I are taking time off.
That's right. So if you want to email us or message us or send us anything while we're out with that, just follow us at riot@radiou.com. You can email us. Or if you text us, 877-2-RADIO-U, we'll see it.
It is.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
I don't know if other people feel this way, but I've just got to say, dealing with tech support is a very...
precarious.
Do I?
Emotional.
I don't know if I want to say humbling. Emotional might work.
Hurtful.
Kind of hurtful because I get
condescending, all that stuff.
Yes, I get it. I understand that as someone that works in tech support, you're basically dealing with people of, like any and all levels of expertise.
Yeah.
And so as a result, when someone comes in, you have to treat them like they have no idea what they're doing.
And you have to tell them if they've restarted things. Like, that's just what you have to do. That's protocol.
And so I hesitated to reach out at all. Because I kind of figured out what was wrong, but this involves money, and so I had to. So I bought, a long time ago, I bought Far Cry 5. I bought it. You know what? I'm not even going to give you guys the details. The details don't matter. Bottom line is I bought codes from 2 different websites, completely legitimate sellers, et cetera, and they weren't compatible. So I ended up with nothing. Now, I've got to give Ubisoft, the company, full credit because I contacted them. They were back to me in less than 2 hours.
That's quite impressive.
And they basically said, hey, you have to contact the people you bought this from, which was a website called Green Man Gaming, and they're an official reseller.
A licensed seller?
So it's a licensed seller. So I emailed them. They were back to me overnight. So I emailed them before our Riot Christmas sweater thing last night, and I woke up to an email this morning. And
now, I feel, though, since you're talking about it, it might not be the email that you're wanting to experience this morning.
Well, it was like this. They sent me this very long explanation of like, well, sir, this is why it's your fault, and this is how stupid you are. Let us explain to you all the ways you're stupid. And I'm just like, oh.
Not so early. Please don't do that to me.
And here's what I love is that they showed me all the places this was on the website. They're like, it was here, it was here, it was here. And I was like, I read all of that. I know that.
But,
and let me explain. And it's that thing. And then at the very, very bottom, they're like, we would be willing to offer you a one-time courtesy credit for blah, blah, blah. So
they're going to credit you what you paid for the game to then buy it again or something?
Well, I could buy something else on their store. Which, you know what? Great. Thank you. I'm happy with that outcome. It was the lecture on how dumb I am that came with the refund that's very hard for me to take.
That is the price that you had to pay.
And I want to email them back and be like, listen, I knew I needed the full product. Let me give you a screenshot of me having the full product. And I did this and I did that. And I did all the things that you had and all the stuff, but it's still not working. And it's not my fault that it's not working.
But
and don't talk to me about it not being. But yes, I'd like the courtesy credit.
Bother.
It's not
do
worth
not
it.
do that. You just want to let it go. I'm sure that's a form response they already had.
It is a form response. I can tell. And it's fine.
Still hurts though, right? But you got to just shake it off.
I just wanted to be like, listen, I know. Okay? I know. I don't need you to say, I know.
Okay.
I get it.
And they probably do. But they're like, we just need to send this guy the form response. And but issue him a courtesy credit.
Do you think that, what's the guy's name here? I have his name right here. His name is Josh. Do you think Josh from Green Man Gaming even cares? Do you think he's there?
Is there even a Josh? Like, here, let's put all the names on the bots.
It's true. So, but you know what? I'm going to get my credit.
Okay.
So that's something.
That's fine. That's the silver
That's
lining.
really what I wanted to happen anyway, is I wanted them to give me the credit. But you know what I want? I also want them to give me my dignity.
Courtesy.
They're trying to take my dignity, and I don't want them to take my dignity.
Wait, I'm sorry. Josh has gotten back with us. He is unable to extend that courtesy.
Sorry,
not this time.
We'll take your dignity in exchange for store credit.
You can have dignity, or you can have the store credit. You can't get both.
All right, Tim says, but you need to calm down, bud.
Tim, no, he's not even fired up.
Oh, you know what, Tim? Since you just told me to calm down, I feel an overwhelming sense of calm coming over me. I just needed somebody to tell me.
Problem solved.
Thanks so much.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
Chief, she's...
Coffee and contemplation.
And the riot. Obviously. RadioU.
All right, Nikki, were you one of those people that really loved that show on Netflix, To All the Boys I've Loved Before?
I did. I liked the movie.
Okay. I don't know what it's about. I just know that I saw a lot of people talk about it.
She wrote letters to previous crushes that she had, but they were kept in a box and then they got mailed. And so the crushes found out.
Oh, really?
And then they come back to see what's going on.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a good movie.
Did she end up with one of them?
Well,
or
yeah, she
all
does.
Of them?
Yeah, she ends up with one of the crushes.
Okay. Well, how nice for her.
It worked out.
Yeah, it did. But you know what? Don't you want to know what happened after that?
I didn't even know there was like a second book to the series.
Well, they are definitely doing a sequel. So you can look forward to that next year.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
I watched the preview Netflix video thing.
I'm excited about the fact, you recall that Netflix a few weeks ago was giving me some very poor recommendations. And they just recommended to me out right now on Netflix is the new Sandra Bullock movie. And you're like, man, who wants to watch a Sandra Bullock movie? It's probably love or something. No. Get a load of this. This is the one that's called Bird Box. And so everyone's comparing it to The Quiet Place or A Quiet Place.
It does have that feeling to it when you watch the trailer.
But you have to go in blind. So everybody has blindfolded themselves. So it's something along the lines of what I caught from one of the trailers is whatever this thing is shows you what you're the most terrified of. But people have figured out that if they cover their eyes, it doesn't work. And so I don't know exactly what that movie is about, but it looks interesting. I feel like this is them trying to do... what was the one from last Christmas?
Bright.
Right.
With Will Smith.
This is their version of Bright for this year because last year they had, Will Smith, whether you like him or not, pretty high profile.
That was kind
Same
of
with Sandra Bullock,
but
whether
that
you
was
like her or
kind
not.
of the first big name, why isn't this in movie theaters, movie to come as a Netflix one.
Yeah.
So now we've had quite a few this year, but the Will Smith one was kind of like the first.
Yeah. Well, it feels like this one... how do I want to say it? Like, they haven't done quite as much press on it.
Yeah.
But I'm still interested in it. The trailer looks pretty good.
I'm such a negative Nikki because every time I see this, I'm like, it wasn't good enough to be picked up by a studio. Like, I automatically think that, and I don't know why, because there's no reason. Maybe it is just as good.
I don't know. Like, it could just be that perhaps...
I am negative Nikki.
Negative Nikki just rolled in.
Well, the boat's in the dock because that's what I feel like.
Well, because, but the thing is, like, if they spent the money, but Okay.
It just
arguably,
a
if they
studio would
spent
have
the
wanted
money,
to keep it.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have wanted to give it away if they thought it was that good. So whenever you have, like Jennifer Aniston just did one, and there's been quite a few others, and you look at it and you're like, I don't know, maybe.
Okay. You know what? Nick, our news guy, I think we're done after this. No comment's going to top this. Bird Box. Isn't that the monthly subscription box for aviary aficionados?
And there we go. That's it.
At the end of the movie, you'll have a chance to sign up to get a monthly bird in a box.
I'm negative Nikki and he's negative Nick, so we're all in the same group.
Dear Radio U, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Our ugly Christmas sweater party from last night is posted. If you miss it, make sure you just put that in your queue to watch this weekend. It's at Radio U Riot on YouTube. And, of course, our Radio U Riot Facebook page if you follow us there.
You know, one of the things that happened last night during that video was the Riot's annual gift exchange.
We did.
It totally happened. So I have here my, Nikki got me a gift card, and she got me this, what's it called?
It's a car mount, like for your phone?
Call.car. That's the name of the brand, and it is a car mount that has a Captain America sticker on it.
He's been wanting a car mount for your phone to where it sticks on your dash, and then it's got a magnet, so your phone just kind of sets on it. But this one, for the magnets, they look like Captain America's shield. It's got that Obi look.
Yeah, I really like it. And here are instructions for me on how to mount it.
Yes.
So I'm going to wait 5 minutes until dry before adhering the mount component. Nikki got me alcohol for Christmas.
There's a swab in there.
There's an alcohol pad here.
Please don't go crazy with it, all right?
Obviously, she wants me to put it in my mouth and suck it dry.
No. It's there to clean your dash.
That's the holidays.
That's what we got.
No, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to put this on... maybe not after the show. I'm afraid I'm not going to be quite myself enough.
Wait until it's bright out and you're wide awake.
And I've really had a chance to think about where I want this thing to go. But I love this thing. I'm really excited about it. The other thing that happened last night during the live event was there was a little controversy that took place. And I'd kind of like to address it now because the controversy I'm discussing obviously revolves around someone wrapping up something for someone else in a way that was environmentally friendly, that was not wasteful.
No, Obi's gift to me was wrapped in foil. Foil from the break room. I think it'd be better if it was foil from home.
Why?
Because here it seems like, I didn't do it. Okay, I'm taking the foil from the kitchen. And then you stole a bow off someone else's gift, and then you put the bow on my gift. It
was a gift. In fairness, it was a gift they'd already opened.
That's true.
So they didn't need the bow anymore. So
that's reusing, and that's responsible of you.
Reduce, reuse, Nikki. Reduce, reuse. And I did both.
But I feel like you're one step from you could have just put it into a Ziploc baggie.
But then you would have been able to see through it.
That would have been too much.
Right. And me taking it and wrapping it in foil and then applying a bow to it prevented you from seeing what was inside.
Well, I remember I looked at it at first. I was like, what shiny wrapping paper. And I was like, that is too thick. Like the style. Oh, it's foil. It's foil. It is.
I think I did well.
You did good.
So
you did good.
Aaron says, Obi is only here because Nikki said we would get drunk.
That's a topic yesterday. Obi heard someone say that at the Walmart trip that he had, so you had to have been there.
There was some public, why won't you buy me booze shaming happening at Walmart while I was shopping.
Not with you, but with someone around you.
Yeah, I just overheard it as I was trying to find an ugly Christmas sweater.
Well, if you missed last night's, make sure you watch it. We also did a Riot food fight with the peppermint bark Oreos.
Yeah.
Those are good.
And we had this amazing polar bear cookie that I've had to move outside the studio. Because I can't stop eating it.
And it's also good when you take the Oreos and dip it into the polar bear icing cookie. You can also do that.
Tack on, man. You know what we should do? Let's just go over there and buy a tub of buttercream and just see what tastes good when you dip it in there.
Could have put the bow on that one.
You're listening to the worst of the Riot.
Today sucks.
RadioU.
The thing is, I think I might get pulled over on my way home today.
For speeding or what?
No, not for speeding, Nikki. I'm going to be driving home, and the back of my car is going to be full of Amazon packages.
It looks like you're a porch pirate. Actually, it really will.
I know, because I have all of my Christmas gifts and stuff sent here to the radio station to prevent porch piracy.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about somebody snagging it off my porch or whatever.
It'll be on the porch the whole day.
That's right.
And then no one will see anything.
So the only thing I have to worry is about like Chris or Nikki or Josh or somebody stealing my stuff. But other than that,
chances are low that's going to happen.
they're lower.
And we don't have a foyer piracy here at Radio U. It's not pretty rampant.
Not as much as you would think, right? Not as much as you would think. But that means I've got, and my back, it's all windows. It's not like I have a trunk or anything to throw it in. So I feel like the police are going to pull me over oh, all right there, sir.
What you doing?
Having yourself a Merry Christmas there?
What you doing there, bud?
Look like you're pretty excited about getting some packages. Can I see your ID? I'd like to match it up with some of the names on these packages.
What you got there?
Seems to me that even though the name matches, this isn't where you live.
So what you doing?
What you doing there, buddy?
We feel like the police that are pulling over are from the north, so.
Oh, absolutely. I think all police come from there.
They have that sound to them.
Yeah, this is a porch piracy's been the big chat this year. I feel like it's been more than ever
because of that glitter fart spray bomb video. I think
it's a good one.
Everybody's been talking about it the last couple of days.
Here's the saddest story ever. Here's a dad that was taking his daughter.
Oh, to do yes, I saw that. He was making the kids steal the stuff off the porch.
He would drive the car, and then she would run out and grab the packages. She's 5 years old.
Gosh.
Yeah. So
I don't know why people think they're entitled to just be like, yeah, take it. No problem. You don't need to pay for it.
What I think is, I think a lot of people, now I can't prove this because some people are just jerks.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are probably Amazon replaces it, so it doesn't matter.
So they feel like
we're
it's
really
not a
just
loss.
stealing from Amazon. We're not stealing from you.
Well, that's not the case, so.
It's kind of like those bank robbing movies where they walk in, everybody get down. We're not stealing from you. Your money is insured by the federal government. You probably don't watch movies like that.
No, I think I missed that, but
okay.
I will now notice it if I catch one.
Oh, you'll definitely hear that. It's one of the ways that they help us as a person watching the movie to still identify with the bank robbers.
Yeah.
Because if the bank robbers are stealing from me, then I don't really like them very much.
But if they're handsome and they're stealing from the government,
then that's
so
okay,
bad. It's
because the
fine.
government steals from us anyway, just like Amazon does. The man.
Which is why you can take from the porch.
That's fine. Sean, I didn't say that. That was me joking. It's not okay, guys.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on RadioU.
What do you get someone for Christmas, that person in your life that just has everything?
It's a good question. I think that's what we have to figure out every year.
I know, it's a tough one. Have you ever considered, maybe getting them a gift certificate to a professional hitman? Something like that?
I never seen that.
Is there somebody in your life that you want, rubbed out completely, or
that you don't want to be a gift option for next year?
Or maybe you just rough them up a little bit. I mean, technically, that's not part of the service. I mean, a hitman is just there's enforcer, then there's hitman. It's not the same thing per se.
My knowledge of this is only from that one Hitman movie that I watched the one time.
Did you watch that?
I watched the one.
With the guy from... Where
shaved head? Yeah,
Agent 47?
That's the one.
What was that like? I never watched that. It was based on a game?
I'd give it a solid C+.
Okay.
It wasn't the worst.
They were trying.
They could have tried a little bit harder, and then it would have been actually a pretty good movie.
Gosh, that sounds like our show. They were trying, but they could have tried a little bit harder.
We're comfortable in this spot. It's fine.
All right. Well, here's a woman in Idaho. She wanted an 8-day vacation to Hawaii, like you do when you're having someone killed. And when she got back, she got arrested, and she was just shocked about it. Apparently, the professional hitman that she was meeting with was, in fact,
not a professional
federal agent
hitman.
And not really a professional hitman. So...
Well,
that's why it's really hard to buy those gift cards, because when you're out there and you're trying to find just the right person to...
You don't know if it's a trap.
Yeah. I don't have anybody in my life that I'm like, I want them gone.
No, because, that just hurts you more. You're the one who's going to get in trouble.
Well, that's why you go on Craigslist. That's why you go on Craigslist. And remember, always ask them if they're a cop.
They
Because they have to tell you if they're a cop.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at, we learn a lesson, hopefully, every riot.
Mm-hmm.
And gift giving is hard. We understand that each year.
Yes.
But the lesson learned for today is you should never be contacting a hitman. It's just not worth it. The responsibility, it's probably not one. You're going to get in trouble. You don't want to hurt the person, really. All that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to get too biblical here, but there's that whole thou shalt not murder thing. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, I didn't pull the trigger.
Don't tell me what to do. First, you're thinking that. I know.
Yeah,
and we think that too, but don't go down that path.
Don't tell me what I can't do. And I still think the idea of like, hey, I didn't do it. All right, they did it.
Sure.
If I just happen to leave $10,000 in cash in an envelope behind this tree and suddenly someone's not around anymore, I don't know about that.
Whenever it's a trap, when we read these articles, it's always shockingly low price of like $1,000 or $800. Like, you think it'd be way more, but that's because it's a trap.
Well, how did you know about me? Groupon? I saw it here. They had a local deal where if you put in good friends, you got 25% off.
Now we know, and now you guys know, so no one do that.
Can we please stop trying to hire people to kill other people?
If you don't want them around in your life anymore, just stop seeing them.
Yeah. Get a new job, move to a different area.
Just change it up.
I know what you're thinking. Like, I was here first, but moving is legal. The other is not.
And you don't want to move to jail, so...
Yeah.
That's not what we're looking at.
Having a bad day? Blame the riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. RadioU.
This is one of those things where Variety is reporting on this, and you can't always believe what you read when it comes to Netflix, because Netflix doesn't release official numbers. But
anytime someone says it's from Netflix, it's usually not. It's from like a third party.
There are a couple of firms out there that are like, nah. Crack the code. We know how to tell you who's watching what and how, and all that sort of stuff.
Who knows? They're just saying it, but we still read it.
Yeah, I do. So I have here, according to TV Time, as reported by Variety, what they say are the most binge-watched shows on Netflix of this year.
Yeah.
So
TV shows.
Now keep in mind, that doesn't mean that these are the most watched shows. These are the shows that you watched and spent tons of time watching them.
Right away. Do they count, you have to watch every episode in a series or a season as a binge? Or they if you at least give 3 or 4, then they count it?
You know what? I actually didn't look at... Okay. TV Time defines a binge session as one in which a user watches at least 4 episodes of a show in a 24-hour period.
Gotcha. Okay,
so,
now we know the parameters.
Yes. So number 5, Riverdale. Number 4, Money Heist. And these are all, well, no, they're not all on Netflix. Some of them are. 13 Reasons Why at number 3.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Okay, the number 2. And people say we're supposed to stop saying binge watching. This is their word, and if somebody can give me a better one, I'll take it. 2, Grey's Anatomy. How are you doing?
Well, you get bored, and you're like, oh, I want to watch a show that has 18 seasons.
All right, and then what do you think, Nikki? If you were going to take a guess at what was the most continuously in one setting watched, like at least 4 episodes on Netflix.
From this past year?
Yes.
Was it still a Stranger Things season?
It was not. Again, this is according to TV Time.
Sure.
People at Netflix could be watching this going,
they got it wrong.
I
don't know. I actually would have thought Riverdale would have been maybe up more.
Number 5's
people
pretty good.
Love that show, but I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
Friends.
Oh, duh. Okay.
This year has been the big year of resurgence for Friends. So that show, last broadcast on TV, like the last live episode of Friends, came out 14 years ago. But apparently, people of all ages have been rediscovering it on Netflix.
I've only seen clips here or there, like if it's on Facebook and someone's posted something, but I should probably go back and actually watch an episode to feel like, does it feel old? Or
it has to.
Does it work? Does it still work?
It's got to feel old, right?
Yeah, but people don't mind that nowadays.
Well, that's because, one of 2 things. One, okay, I listened to this guy. We've talked about this before. He had a great take on this. He said that nostalgia is going to disappear because all content is always available. So you won't feel nostalgic for something. So time won't matter. So for you, when you go to Netflix, whether something is brand new or something is 50 years old, in a lot of ways doesn't matter because it's being fed to you the exact same way. So you'll watch anything. That's 1. 2, if you look around, a lot of 90s fashion has made its way back around.
Yeah, so it looks current.
I think that some of it looks current, even if the hairstyles maybe don't. And then the other thought I had is that I just forgot it.
I think...
Oh, no. Okay, people are really into period dramas.
Yeah.
So like Stranger Things is like an 80s period, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you could drop Friends and be like, look, we made this retro-themed 90s show.
And you just don't realize it.
Yeah,
I also
whatever.
think
It's in HD.
if you want to add an asterisk to it, too, don't you feel like we just don't have any large comedy shows? Like those don't stick around as much with a group of people? That's not an acronym show that has a crime tinge to it?
The only show that I can think of that would be the exception that proves the rule would be Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
That's been on for 400 years, and it's an ensemble comedy.
But outside of that, you don't get much of it. So
I think that
could be a genre that's just not really hit at too often.
Yeah. And, well, comedy is fraught with danger these days because anything that you make fun of will include people
Someone
that are
will be
very
mad
upset
at one
about
thing,
it. So,
yeah. All right, well, that was our take on that.
Yeah. So, Friends, according to TV Time, like the most big-time watched show. See, I'm trying to replace binge. We're going to have to go to the drawing board on that.
When you go and in 24 hours watch 4 episodes or more, that counts.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
It is the riot. Text or call 877-2-RADIO-U. Want to say hey to Jerome. He says his friends watch Friends because there's no overt political messaging.
Good call.
Unlike most entertainment today.
And if there was, you wouldn't maybe understand the reference because it's an older one.
I'm getting that. Aaron says nostalgia is a thing. He sat down and rewatched all 8 Fast and Furious movies in the last 2 days.
Hey, Aaron, did you know that Blu-ray set was for sale for like $19 the other day? You could buy all the Furious.
I was trying to sell it to Nikki. She could have had digital codes and all the Blu-rays for was it $19 or something like that?
It was crazy. It was like, wait, should that be more? But, those are old.
It's kind of dumb, but every single morning I check this one site to see what's on sale on Amazon, iTunes, Best Buy, and Walmart. They have it all in one place so you can see. And almost every morning I try to sell Nikki on a movie. I said, Nikki, I can get you
if I want
blank,
to.
Blank, blank, and blank for only blank.
Do you want to just send me the link and I can bookmark it so I can check it each day too?
No, because I like having a chance to talk to you about it.
But then I'm missing out. What if you totally didn't tell me about something I actually wanted, but you just kept telling me about Fast and Furious movies?
Nikki, here's the thing. It's my job to tell you what you like.
Not my job to figure it out.
That's right. Something that I really don't want, and I got to be super careful of, is I don't want you thinking for yourself. So
teasing. Just in case someone's like, oh my gosh.
Do you hear what he's saying
Get
right
out
now?
of that room now. You stand up for yourself.
I knew he was oppressive. I knew he was. I could totally tell. All the signs are there.
No, it's just like trolling in person. He's just right there, and he likes to do that every day.
Yeah, that's what it's a thing.
Even though when I saw the $19 Fast and Furious, you get all the movies deal, I thought, wow, that's a lot of movies for a low price. Still not buying it, though.
I'm almost...
Not tempted. Never mind.
Feeling just fine.
That's one of those things where you're excited if you find that streaming somewhere for free, but not where you want to spend any money.
It's weird that we're suddenly on Fast and Furious because it wasn't my plan, but yesterday I watched the first half hour of Furious 6.
How come? Just random?
I was trying to take a 30-minute break before I returned here last night for whatever, and I was trying to find something that felt like kind of...
Turn your brain off?
Yes. And... watching Furious 6, I was like, I think I'm not in the right mindset for this because this is really not working for me. And if you had asked me up until that point if I liked it, I would have been like, yeah, dude.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But just not at that moment.
The Rock's walk and talk at the beginning with him in that Under Armour shirt, he's just like, let me lay out the plot for you while we walk so you feel like something's happening. And I was like,
well, he's filming now, I think, the spinoff for his character.
That's next year.
So
I can't, something in Hobbs. Because it's him and Jason Statham. And I'll tell you what.
I don't think they like each other.
No. He and Jason Statham get along just fine.
Oh, good.
It's The Rock and Vin Diesel.
That's the two that don't like each other.
Because basically The Rock has, Hobbs and Shaw, says the Durek.
Thank you.
Because basically The Rock is, kind of overshadowed What's his name?
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel, thank you.
Can't remember. Boy, that's maybe why he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, Nikki, I don't know about you, but it was a long night. The Riot had an ugly sweater Christmas party.
We had a party last night.
And it was a rough night. But, he's kind of overshadowed him a little bit.
Sure, took over the franchise.
Yeah, and he doesn't like that spinoff.
I could see that.
Does not like.
Well, if you want to still look if the Fast and Furious Blu-ray deal is still going, then some of that money will go to Vin Diesel if you feel bad. So
I know I feel bad.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a peaceful start to your morning, you should look somewhere else. It's The Riot on RadioU.
That's Nikki, and we're here to talk about her feet.
My shoe game.
Yeah, Nikki, have you started thinking about which Nikes you're looking forward to for next year?
No, I like to purchase. I did order a new pair of tennis shoes, but they're not.
You're playing tennis now?
Well, just, I call my sneaker shoes
Court
tennis shoes.
What are they?
They are just New Balance again. They're like a gray color. They should be nice with a little teal outlining around it.
You guys don't see my look of disdain. Because, Nikki, look.
That'll be my 2019 game.
Okay. So you've already decided.
Pretty much. It was on sale, and I just could not say no to it.
So in an earnings call that took place yesterday, I believe, Nike executives have revealed plans for what they are calling an adaptive performance basketball shoe next year. Now, they have done something similar to this before with what they call hyper-adapt self-fitting technology. That was 2 years ago. They had a shoe like that. It was a low-cut training shoe. $720 for those shoes.
Was it supposed to mold around you and kind of learn your foot shape?
Yes, create the perfect fit. And now they have this. They say that tech has gotten less expensive and lighter so that it will fit better in a pair of shoes.
But higher price.
No. Less expensive.
Less expensive?
So $720 for what were, they weren't prototypes, but it was the first time this tech had been available publicly.
Sure.
So again, they say they've improved it. They've made it lighter. These shoes will be $350.
That's quite a better price than the $700 one.
And so they are self-lacing shoes. Uh-huh. So they will determine the exact right fit for the shoe.
See, that's not for me. Just a little fact about me. I don't like things on my feet. I don't like socks, and I barely like to wear shoes. I prefer sandals or flip-flops or sliders or something. But I understand sometimes you got to wear a shoe. Mm-hmm. But I want the one that fits the loosest. So, I don't like to tighten my shoelaces. Okay. And I like a shoe that's much bigger than what my foot actually is. So I don't want one that adjusts for, the perfect fit, because for me, the perfect fit is not going to be what they're telling me.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because I'm how much room can I get in this shoe? Because I hate feeling the shoe around my foot.
Okay. All right. So that's not, but
this is not the right one for me.
The thing is, though, Nikki,
because they're going to want to tighten my shoelaces too tight.
Maybe not.
I know they are.
Maybe not. Maybe.
No, I know they are.
They're going to be we have.
No, I feel it.
What if you put them on?
I feel the pressure.
You put them on, and then you were I don't even feel them.
No, because you would.
How don't I feel them?
It.
I can't feel them right now.
No, thank you.
It's a miracle. No. It's a miracle. I got a shoe I don't feel.
Plus, it's also still a very expensive shoe.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? If I get, it's December now. Mm-hmm. I've been wearing the same shoes for 18 months.
Don't you think it's time, though? You are supposed to change them out after a while.
They're great.
They're still doing good?
I'm doing just fine in these shoes. Don't need new shoes yet. In fact, I want to see if I can go 2 years in the same shoes.
Well.
And there are these not Nike, but Adidas ones that I bought. And normally I buy these Pumas and I have to have a new pair 6 to 9 months. And these Adidas, I don't know what they've got in the sole of these shoes.
They're magic shoes.
They've barely worn it all. I'm not saying they haven't worn it all. They have, but it is ridiculous how well that they have worn.
When you find a shoe that works, you go with it.
I didn't even like them that much when I bought them, but little did I know.
Your feet grew into them.
Magic. Just magic.
And we didn't pay $300 for them.
No, they were $50. So, and you know what? I don't even care. I just wear indoor soccer shoes because I played soccer one time and I can't let go. That's it.
Someone analyzing it might say that, but you just like the feel of it.
I know what I am. I'm a man, baby. Go ahead. I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt right now and some indoor soccer shoes.
That's what he is.
You know what I am when you see me.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from McGee's. The worst of the riot on RadioU.
I got to tell you right now, God's the original weirdo. He is. Like, he's so weird. You think it's weird that I'm wearing a Batman shirt and just, these shoes that are really old?
Oh, when you try to package it that way.
And it's fine. But it's another thing I've been thinking about with Christmas. Christmas unveils to me that God is just, at least by our standards, is a little bit crazy. I mean, if you were going to show up on the scene, I would want to show up big, right? Like, you would want to show up big. And instead, what is Christmas about? Jesus shows up in a barn to a bunch of shepherds. That's weird, guys. It's weird. It's backwards. It's not the way I would do it. And then if you look at God, he's constantly doing things differently. Jesus is inviting us to have a relationship with him, and he's showing us a different way to live. And you know what? It's not a life on stage with bright lights. I mean, I guess it is for some people. God wants us doing what he wants us to do wherever it is. But in the quiet moments, it's just the realization that, hey, it's you and Jesus, a friendship that lasts. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about power. It's about lasting satisfaction. It's about friendship. It's about receiving a gift that keeps giving all year long. Not Jelly of the Month Club. I'm talking about a relationship with God. Man, and here's what I love, is that I feel like God is often kind of subverting my expectations. I think it's going to go one way. It goes a different way. And he shows me like, hey, this is a good way. Like, this might not be you thought it should be this way, but I got a different way to do it. And I don't know. I guess you could say I'm just kind of a student of his. I'm trying to learn from God about how to live, how to treat other people, how to do things. And God loves you so much. Christmas is about him inviting into your family and giving you a gift of him in your life, the best gift ever. So look, you think it has to go one way. Why don't you give another way a shot? You've tried all kinds of things. Why don't you try this other thing? Why don't you invite Jesus into your life today? Say, Jesus, I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to accept the gift of you, and I want to see the way you do things. And it's hard. How could we in 3 minutes tell you everything? But know something very clearly. You are so loved. You are so cared for. God wants to be a part of your life. You don't have to be alone at Christmas, whether you don't see anybody or you're going to be surrounded by 100 people and still feel lonely. You're not alone. God loves you.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So get back to work. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Okay, Nikki, did you see... I know you haven't seen The Predator. The Predator came out in like August, and then the Blu-ray came out this week.
No, but I saw the trailer, so I know like the premise of the movie, and it's the guy with the head and
the dreadlock
and
monster.
All that. So yeah. I'm familiar with what he looks like.
Okay,
it looks like. I'm not sure.
That being said,
yeah.
Did you see the claymation Predator Christmas trailer that they have released? It's like,
why not?
It's a Predator Christmas or something like that.
Claymation.
It's 2.5 minutes, and it is. I might say I enjoyed that 2.5 minutes better than I enjoyed the actual Predator itself.
So it's
called the Predator Holiday Special. It's
okay.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. It is, just to be clear, it's like claymation, stop motion kind of stuff, but it's very bloody.
So like the old Rudolph stuff?
Yes. In fact, it's kind of modeled after that.
I just love this stuff.
It's so funny, dude. But again, I'll just tell you.
Oh, am I hearing gunfire?
Yeah. It is a gory presentation.
Sure.
Just so you know. Because, I mean, it's all claymation, so it's not real, Nikki.
This isn't for, because we've talked about in the past, the Riot has sometimes made poor decisions with friends and family that have gathered around to look at things that we've watched or played video games, and they're disappointed in the choices that we've made and surprised that we think something is funny.
This is what that is.
So just be careful in case you're like, Mom, look at it.
This is exactly what that is. This is that thing where it's something that you and I think is funny, but there are people in my life right now that I wouldn't show this to because they would be like...
They're not even laughing. Oh, when the one reindeer gets his arm cut off and he's like this. Oh, no. Okay, just be aware. It is that type of humor. And in this room, in this moment, it's really funny.
Right.
But I just can't tell after.
I'm just telling you.
Santa came out. He's mad.
Context is important.
Yes, it is.
And so, depending on where you are, this may or not be something that you share.
So that's the Predator Holiday Special.
So,
and
I mean,
that's
maybe
on Fox's YouTube channel.
I wasn't going to share it, but here's something you guys don't know about Nikki and I, or you might, is that sometimes when Nikki and I are in the studio and we're feeling a little down, we decide to go check the Digital Bits. It's a website that posts all the upcoming Blu-ray and like DVD releases.
Yep.
And right there.
Is that on there?
Oh, yeah. It was right at the top of the list because it was this week.
Sure, but
and
not
so,
the Christmas special.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I have to tell Nikki this, but we have to talk in 10 seconds. Well, it's part of the show.
Okay. Well, I'll watch this. I went through it without audio, but I'll watch it with audio.
All right.
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep. They can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Joining us in the studio is a peddler of fine medicines.
Dr. Hudson's in the building.
An apothecary of sorts.
Ooh.
Nikki, perhaps you could pronounce that.
I hate that word. Just something I just don't do.
Okay. So,
and I'm fine with it.
Hudson's here with the apothecary that we hope doesn't land us in the bambulance.
So I also hate that word.
Ambulance.
Stop it. Why are you being mean in front of Hudson? Don't do that.
Don't disparage my Canadian cough syrup.
So, Hudson, talk to us about Buckley's.
What is this?
Well, Buckley's is a cough medicine. People swear by it up north, and to the point where, of course, you can't get it really easily in the United States. So with my family going back and forth to Canada, when people would be sick, they'd be like,
they bring it over?
Yeah, they'd be just constantly bringing back supplies. So that
you brush
people had
over
to stash.
saying you can't get it in the United States so easily. Why can't you get it in the United States?
I think it's just for whatever reason they just don't distribute it here because there's nothing about it like, okay.
Is it Canadian, like, what is it, codeine or whatever?
I just want to say, like, before you finish your story,
right.
that Hudson, when there's a drug that's not sold in your country, that you sneak across the border in your bag, that's called trafficking.
It's not illegal, though. It's not illegal. They just don't really. I mean, I think you can buy it on Amazon and stuff.
Do you disclose this when you travel across the border?
Do they ask if you're carrying any illegal drugs or medicine?
I
mean, like, they ask illegal stuff. I don't know if they say illegal, but, they ask if you're taking any drugs. It's not a drug. It's a medicine.
Okay.
It's right here on Amazon.
So that's fine.
Right. But and I feel like it's popped up at, like, CVS or some store, carried it for some time. Maybe it just didn't catch on in the United States or whatever. But in Canada, it's huge. And to the point where they will be out in, like, I've been to the malls in Canada where they will have
like
people,
a pop-up?
Yeah, where they're trying to get you to taste test Buckley's, and then if you taste it, you can spin the wheel and get a prize. Which, if you think about
we can't
them
do
doing
that
that,
in our
if they
society.
did that if some guy at the mall was handing out samples of NyQuil, people would report him. That would be a big problem. But that's not what Buckley's is.
People take the cough syrup here and turn it into a nefarious drink.
Right.
All right, well, let's try it. Is it supposed to taste bad?
Yes, that's part of the thing. Like, I mean, it might even say...
That's why people aren't mixing it with drinks.
Their, like, tagline is, it tastes awful and it works, I think. So here.
So pour me a cup, will you? Yeah. Pour me a little bit.
I love the fact that they...
Oh, shake it up.
Oh, okay, shake it up.
Yeah, is this expensive stuff to where we should be rationing it?
I wouldn't fill the cup with it just for one. It's medicine.
Are we in cold and flu season? Where Hudson, you want this?
Right?
At home?
I might. I mean, my family. I don't know the next time they're going to Canada. So
this
if I get sick between now and then,
dude, there's one seller on Amazon, Buckley's Original Cough Congestion Syrup. It's the. Is it 50 bottles of it for $600?
What in the heck? Is that a lifetime
Then you'd
supply?
be good, though.
Ooh, this looks like phlegm.
Wait till you smell it.
Yeah, it smells like...
I'd
love
like
to hear
Vicks,
you're just...
It's like Vicks Vapor Rub if I were just drinking it.
I know.
It is kind of like Vicks. I always...
See how thick it is?
I hate the texture of it, like just the consistency.
Why are we drinking this? Why?
Because you'll see how much it must work for people to drink this.
Why?
Nikki,
and then next time you get sick, you're going to be begging me to bring this.
Will you please call? Can I call your mom? All right, so this is Buckley's cough syrup.
Yeah, wait. Hudson's not ready yet.
Is this a syrup?
Well, I mean, I've had it before.
Yeah, my eyes are burning.
Wow, when you put your eyes in front of the cup, they burn.
Don't touch your hands and touch your eyes.
I always consider, like, it reminds me of cat litter. Just before we taste it, I just want to, like, throw that one out there.
Wait, why do you know what cat litter tastes like?
No, I just like the smell.
The smell of it?
Doesn't it smell like cat litter?
No, it smells like Vicks Vapor
I don't have
Rub.
a cat. So, yeah, to me, it just smells like we're drinking Vicks.
Oh, my God.
It's rough, dude.
It
Are
is
you ready?
pungent. This is like.
Okay, do you have something else to drink to wash it down?
Yeah,
a
that's.
soda, but I don't want to. I don't want my soda to. That is then making drink. Like I should not be doing that.
Okay, you ready?
Oh,
Oh, it's bad. Oh,
I
my
forgot
gosh,
how bad
it
it
burns.
Oh, it burns going
It
down.
burns.
Oh, whoa, Hudson,
It's
what
wor-
are you doing? I got shiver cold.
you aren't prepared even having it before. You
Oh,
aren't
my
prepared for how
gosh.
bad it is.
You know what, though? I don't think it's that bad.
Actually,
Yes,
it's
is.
nice to have the little aftertaste
my
where it like makes your
goodness.
mouth all cool.
Yeah, it tastes like...
Isn't that nice?
It's
What
got,
is that made of?
Well, but it's got kind of a Halls-like thing going on.
It does if you melted down Halls and Vapor Rub and then stirred it around and drank it.
Well,
is
that
some
seems like that would be a good
powerful
medicine,
stuff.
too, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We can never go back. Like I don't have any congestion, but now I'm clear of
Yeah,
whatever was in there.
absolutely.
Whoa, Hudson. Okay, so that's Buckley's. That
The other
is
thing
some
about it, too,
intense
I
stuff.
would rather drink that. As bad as it is, I prefer that taste to just like the average, like Robitussin or whatever that you get those cherry syrups. I hate those things.
Wait.
I don't think this is that bad, but yeah. I mean, it does taste like I have Vapor Rub in my mouth.
Wow.
So, I mean, like my breath right now, so minty.
It's very minty.
And all the
Whoa.
air that I'm breathing out of my mouth
Oh,
is
and
freezing cold.
I do think mint is being kind to it. Like, it's the coldness, but it's definitely not the
All
It's
right,
not like
okay.
a peppermint Oreo or
How about
anything.
menthol?
There
I'm
you go,
also-
there you go.
I'm also nicely warm, so just very warm.
I feel like the warmth of it has passed, but like...
Not for me.
What?
So that's
You know,
your Riot Food Fight Medicine Edition for something called Buckley's from Canada.
It doesn't make you sleepy, does it?
No.
I really hope
It's
not.
not
'cause
that
we're,
kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. We finally... You don't understand. Hudson and I have been talking about this
For quite some time.
for a long time.
Like maybe a year, do you think? Was it last year? Probably not. It
It
could have come up.
Yeah, sometime across this year, we
They
ended up talking about
probably
Buckley's.
every time it gets cold out for colds and
Okay,
flus.
tongue is a little numb.
No, it's that phlegm. It's not phlegm, but it's got that
The
coating,
coating,
on it
yeah,
now.
because
It's a
it's
coating.
so thick.
Okay, let's watch this.
Friends by Friends Coke Freestyle Machines. We're all friends, right? It's the Riot on Radio U.
So here's what people are really frustrated about. They say that for whatever reason, the run of holiday Hershey's Kisses this year, entire bags full of Hershey's Kisses have the tops like broken off.
So it's supposed to be like a tip,
It's supposed to be a tip.
like a point.
It's a beautiful, sublime shape.
Yeah, but then these really do look like
It's-
they got sliced off or like cut off or something was wrong with the entire batch.
And so you've got all of these Hershey's Kisses, and the tops of them are just like pushed down just a little bit.
And so people at first are like, oh, what's the big deal? But the people that are really mad are those that are baking cookies with these because, if you set them on top of like a cookie, it looks like you made a mistake or you did something wrong. And they're going through bags and bags and bags of them, and they're all like this.
Yeah, that's the part that's weird. Like, sure, you end up with a couple, that makes sense. But the idea that all of these Hershey's Kisses don't have tips on them, that's...
And Hershey never acknowledged it or said anything, or have they brought up why?
So let's see.
Is it a cover-up?
Jeff Beckman, Director of Corporate Communications for the Hershey Company, said this to Business Insider. We understand that bakers' expectations are high for an iconic brand that is more than 100 years old because they are proud of their desserts. We appreciate the love of the brand and taking the time to bring the appearance of these Hershey's Kisses to our attention. So basically they're looking into it, but they haven't made a
A statement.
hey, we're sorry, or we made a mistake. It's just, we'll look into what is happening with this iconic brand.
And then, the other memo's like, darn it, guys, they noticed. It's like, oh, no.
I told you guys
I told you someone was
that
going to
we
notice.
shouldn't ship those.
So if you use Hershey Kisses, I know you like to make those peanut butter cookies where you then place a Hershey Kiss in the middle on the top.
That's what you call a peanut butter blossom.
And you like that cookie.
And I have a bag of Hershey's Kisses at home right now waiting for me.
Do you think you could tweet and tell us if that has the tips wrong?
That's a good call.
You need to make a point of telling us.
You know what you do right now? You go ahead, Obadiah RadioU. That's me on Twitter, and that's me on Instagram. And when I do finally get around to baking them, which won't be until Christmas Eve afternoon.
If not, you could probably open them, though, and just seal them back up. You're not going to, never mind.
Nikki.
You just don't want to make sure you remember.
Listen, am I going to remember to make the cookies? Heck yeah. If I open all of them.
And you'll notice?
I'm going to know.
All right. Just want to find out.
I'm going to know.
So Hershey Kisses users, that's something that maybe you'll notice.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe your bag will be fine.
It's not going to be. Believe me. Though, wouldn't that be great? Like, I'm the one
who got a perfectly fine bag.
The haphazard, I bake something once a year guy gets the perfect bag of Hershey Kisses.
Could be it.
My presentation will be stunning.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the RIOT is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the RIOT on RadioU.
I realize that Christmas is coming, and therefore, you got to get yours. And I'm talking about all the presents you deserve. But remember, next year, you'll also deserve presents, which means they have to make new things, because you're going to get all the things this year. So next year, we've got to have new things to deserve.
Is it the Consumer Electronics Show? Is that what's in January?
How did you know?
Because
you just felt it, didn't
it's just
you?
I'm on top of things.
Yep. CES is coming up, and that is happening in January. And here's what's amazing. LG has designed a laser projector. It's called the Laser 4K. And they say, this is actually kind of amazing. They say it's home theater in a box. So think about this. Instead of, like, right now, if you had a projector in your house, you got to mount it to the ceiling or something. It's got to be however far back. This is one that you put on the floor-ish in front of an empty wall. And it says that if you can get it 7 inches away from the wall.
Oh, really?
7 inches? It can give you a 120-inch 4K display.
That's nice. How much is that thing?
Well, I mean, we're not here to discuss things like
I bet Eric would like that. We used to have a projector at our last house, and I mean, it's nice, but you have to put it up and you have to put it back far enough.
Yeah, it's no small thing to get a set.
But it's cheaper to have a projector than you think, because you can get a big size out of a projector.
Yes, you can.
But we just use the projector paint on the wall, and then you just trim it, and you can make it look nice. And some people use a sheet, and some people use a screen.
Yep.
But it's a nice way to get a big size for a big room.
You can absolutely do that. And I've been lots of places, including your place, to see that, and it's great. The other thing, I'll tell you one thing I love about a projector is that if you have any issues with eye strain, you'll basically get none from a projector, because you're not having light pushed out at you.
Oh, I didn't
You're
know
looking
that would
at
help.
light that's sitting on a wall. Yeah, it's
medical.
It's the same principle that that a Kindle Paperwhite works under. The light is being shown at something else, not directly at you. So eye strain is not so bad.
If you have eye strain, it's better if you got one of these, right?
Right, you should probably get one.
But no price or?
Yeah, no price yet, and it does 4K but not HDR. But yeah, no price. I imagine this thing is probably
5, 6, 7,
like so expensive because it's new tech. But the thing, I always say this about CES and a lot of these different things is, you can look at something like this and get a little excited about it and understand that in 5 years it will be affordable, or in however long. Like, it's not probably something you could afford now, but the crap you see at CES has a trickle-down effect.
It does, and more often when the other companies start making their versions, then there's competition, and the prices go down, and there's holidays, and there's sales, and yeah, you're right. Probably about 5 years.
So it's not something we'll probably be able to get next year, but at some point it becomes affordable. And how cool is that? We get to the point where basically it's like you don't own a TV anymore. What about this? You don't own a TV, you don't own a computer, you just have your phone. And when you're ready to watch, if you want to watch a big screen, you just put your phone in this little spot, and all of a sudden you have a 120-inch TV on the wall.
That's the future right there. And I can get behind that. I like that.
Yeah, right? Or what about this? You're laying in bed. You want to watch TV. You just project it from your phone right up on your ceiling.
That way I won't drop my phone on me anymore.
What?
That's awesome.
We're going to get fat, guys.
No.
We're just going to lay in TV and lay in bed and watch TV on the ceiling.
Laying in a chair. We're laying in bed.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I think he's like, my nutty buddy. I take him with me where I go.